All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a very exciting interview. We have a special guest here today, which is MimiClark from Gaia Blooming. Today, Mimi and I are going to be discussing the Saturn return. During the past year, I've had tons of different astrologers come into my life and tell me, you know what, Maya, you need to be prepared. Your Saturn return is coming. And I have noticed as well that many of my clients are experiencing their Saturn return processes. And so I wanted to make a video today where Mimi can share with us her wisdom on the Saturn return process. And if you don't know Mimi already, she is an amazing intuitive and astrologer and owner of Gaia Blooming, and you may know her from her daily horoscopes on YouTube, and I will link her channel below.
What Saturn return is where Saturn returns to the place in your natal chart where you were born. So everybody has a natal chart, and it's the position of the various planets when you were born. So in your Saturn return, which happens roughly at age 30, it's like 29 and a half, Saturn returns to the place in your chart. And it's like you've had 30 years of lessons, and then Saturn's like the master teacher. Like, have you learned the lessons? If you haven't, we're going to go over them again. So that's the basis of it. It's Saturn, which is karma, lessons, time. Saturn actually rules time. Showing up and saying, okay, it is time. It is time for you to step into your purpose. Saturn is also purpose energy. Being like, okay, we're going to take the steps and go over any of these lessons that you haven't fully learned. And here you are, spiritual adulthood. It's time. I have a lot of people who are like 25, 26, 27 coming to me and saying, I don't know what I'm doing with my life yet. Like, I don't know who I am. And it's kind of hard because I think society is like, you should know what you're doing. You're over the age of 23. You should know what you're doing. And I really look at it as Saturn return is this time where it's like, this is when you really get to know who you are. This is when you really tap into your purpose. You will find during your Saturn return that there will be things that are shed out of your life. There will be things that are released from your life. There will be things that you have to let go. And I kind of look at that as the things that aren't really serving your purpose anymore, being let go, these ways of the world that we've learned and accumulated that don't really work for you. This is the time where you reach this adulthood, when you reach the purpose of your life. That's really the focus, I believe, of Saturn return is your responsibility to yourself, your responsibility to showing up in and for your purpose. Suddenly, out of seemingly nowhere, you're just kind of bopping along, you get hit with these lessons, these challenges. And I think you need to know it's not personal, and there is a way that you can work through them. Look at your chart, or have somebody look at your chart, find out where your Saturn is. That's going to help draw you into your purpose. And that's going to help show you what you're having to work yourself around. I think it's also really important because I think a lot of people, a lot of young people, pressure themselves. I want to have the career, the husband, the 2.5 kids, and the house before age 30. Well, until you hit your Saturn return, you're not really in that adult space. So it's like, take the pressure off yourself so that you can really show up and live. And again, be in your purpose, your personal responsibility. Responsibility is like one of my other keywords with Saturn. And I don't use it in the traditional sense of responsibility, how you will usually hear it in the world. I use it as it is your responsibility. How are you responding to what's showing up in a way that is true to you? And that's what Saturn ultimately wants. There's a lot of people who be like, Saturn's so hard, Saturn's so cruel. I don't believe that. I do believe all the planets are working for us. Even if it's tough, even if it's a challenge, it is working for us. But you need to know and be a cooperating component and work with it instead of fighting any of these lessons that will surface over this time. The first Saturn return, you will feel it from 27 to 31. The intense years are like 28 to 30. The next one is 29 and a half years later, roughly like 56 to 60 years old. And that is a time of coming into your mastery. So the first round is like, here you are in your adulthood and you're realizing your purpose. And then this next one is your mastery. Now I have to say, I have some clients who have just completed their second Saturn return, just are completing it at this time. And I am seeing amazing radical changes in their life. I'm seeing them take themselves out of responsibility in the old sense, in the world sense, and really honoring themselves and honoring their talents, honoring their purpose now. So it really is another opportunity to honor yourself and another opportunity to step into your mastery. Now, if you have been really aligned with your purpose, to me, this next Saturn return just takes you deeper into it. I don't have the belief that once a transit passes you by, that's it. Like, you can't use it anymore. It's all cycles. You'll get the cycle again. The universe will get you where it wants you to go. So that is another opportunity. And then the third Saturn return happens around 84 years of age. So like 84 to 88-ish about. And to be fair, I don't really know too many who have, I mean, there's a lot of people who are living to that age, but I don't have a lot of people around me that I've studied. But that to me is just yet another rite of passage, another opportunity to seize your mastery. And then I do look at people like Louise Hay. She, for instance, she has moved through her Saturn return, her third Saturn return, and she just keeps expanding that Hay House empire. She keeps expanding and growing and putting stuff out there and evolving herself. So to me, that is a really good example of somebody who's moved through their third Saturn return and are living that mastery energy.
Louise Hay is in her 80s? What?
Louise Hay turned 90? Is she 88 or 90? She's lived. I believe that she really dove deep into her work around 60, right around her second Saturn return. So it's not too late. There's all kinds of books. The one that pops into my head is a book called The Only Astrology Book You'll Ever Need. I don't know who it's by. You can look up in there and you can look up based on your date of birth where any of your planets may be. You can go online. There's astro.com or astrotheme.com where you can pull up your chart on Astrotheme. I really like it. If you hover over any of the symbols that are on there, which Saturn kind of looks like an H with a cross, it'll be like, this is Saturn in this sign. So you can do that. Or my favorite option is going to somebody who knows what they're talking about, who can support you, help you. I actually offer a Saturn return reading. So if you're wanting to dive into your Saturn return, you can get into it and get, my knowledge from working with Saturn and with the different signs, different planets. But there are free resources. Like, get curious about it and go look it up in a book.
And if somebody did want to get that Saturn return reading with you, how could they find you, Mimi?
They can find me at GaiaBlooming.com. That is GaiaBlooming.com. And under services has a whole list of all the different readings I do, including the Saturn return reading, which I try to keep low price. I know me at that time, I didn't have a lot of extra funds, so I keep it purposely available to people. This Saturn returns a time where we kind of need to unlearn what we've learned that society has taught us and instead relearn how to attune to what is true to ourselves, what is authentic to ourselves. So practice that responsibility and just know this time can be very uncomfortable, but it does end. And I think that's one of the things, like, if you're going through discomfort and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to turn out, I don't know where I'm going to turn out, breathe, refocus, and be present with yourself in the moment. It really is about showing up for yourself, for your purpose. You may feel the world pulling on you with its desires, but if you come back here and keep breathing from this present space, you will be able to make it through with as much grace as possible.
Thank you so much, Mimi, for being with us today and for all your wisdom on the Saturn return process. And I hope that you will all connect with Mimi on her YouTube channel and on GaiaBlooming.com. Bye, everyone.
Bye.